White House advisor Kellyanne Conway has accused the states where coronavirus cases are exploding of opening up too quickly.
Blew through our gated criteria, blew through our phases, and they opened up some of the industries a little too quickly, like bars. Remember, the governors wanted complete latitude over when they would open their states. They pushed back heavily, handsomely, Republicans and Democrats, when it was falsely rumored that the president was going to be in charge of opening the states. He's a federalist. He believes in states' rights.
He encouraged them to open.
Well, but not everybody has. And remember, he pushed back on the governor of Georgia, a Republican, who he frankly helped get elected. He pushed back on him early, and some people didn't like that, but he did that because he said publicly to all of you, I think it's just a little too early. Why don't we wait a little bit longer?
Right. So let me address the states' rights. So, yeah, Donald Trump believes in states' rights. He's a federalist. That's what she said, right? Except when it comes to Oregon, which is filled with federal troops, especially in Portland, Michigan, where he's threatened to put federal troops in Detroit, Illinois, federal troops in Chicago. I wonder if those things are related, by the way. And so, of course, the whole cover is, well, the violent anarchists that are, the Black Lives Matter protesters that have taken over the sections of Portland. I mean, we got to do something. We got to decide to anarchy, right? Okay. A lot of the crimes, by the way, that are being alleged by the Trump administration, or at least by these are actually federal mercenaries. They're not even soldiers. These are people that are hired by, or that are defense contractors hired by the Trump administration to dress up in fatigues and go kidnap people off the street, essentially, right? And so the alleged crimes generally are being part of a peaceable assembly and graffiti. Yeah. But, yeah, sure. States' rights. Love it. More example, by the way, specifically on coronaviruses. That's what we're talking about, right? So it was mentioned by the reporter of Donald Trump's enthusiastic endorsement of GOP states that are lifting stay-at-home restrictions. Trump also threatened to take very strong action, that's his words, against states that didn't reopen quickly enough, and also claimed that he had the total authority to do so. And when right-wingers in Minnesota, Michigan, and Virginia were doing these protests, they went and got their AR-15s, and they said, to open up the states, we got to open up the states. He tweeted that we should liberate the states. So please tell me, who is the champion on states' rights? And by the way, who is to partly blame for these states, many of these states having more coronavirus cases? I mean, how is someone able to lie so much, so easily? I mean, look, I guess it helps if their career depends on it. I mean, that statement happened a couple of days ago in the middle of Donald Trump pressuring states to reopen their schools in the fall and threatening to withhold federal money if they do not do so. I mean, it's total gaslighting. That's what it is. And of course, shifting the blame of the huge spikes in coronavirus that everybody, including me, were saying was going to happen if you open up the states too quickly. I mean, look, she says, can't blame Trump, though. No, he was on the right side the entire time, even if that's completely contradictory. Now, look, the governors who run the states, by the way, they are the ones that reopen the economy. Of course, right? Nobody, I'm not out here saying that that's not the case. The states, the governors ultimately did make that choice. But here's the thing about that. A lot of these governors are pro-Trump governors, right? They rely on the Trump Republican vote. And so they want to get reelected. That's the number one priority of politicians. I know you're probably shocked to hear that these politicians, the only thing that they want to do is get reelected. Shocker, right? And so the calculation was, it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Liberal hoax. They're just trying to use it to get Donald Trump, to have him lose the election. We're going to open up anyway, so we're going to help Donald Trump with the economy. Oops. And not only that, but you had Donald Trump's public statements, of course, and so you've got that public pressure from him. It's basically like Donald Trump loading the gun and the governors pulling the trigger as Trump eggs them on. So you've got a lot of blame for both. Okay. But that's not what Kellyanne Conway is doing. And this is part of a pattern. Donald Trump gets people to say or do things. Oftentimes, those things are not true, right? Or they're stupid. And when those things blow up in their face, he comes back and says, not my fault. I didn't do it. It was them. Don't blame me. I guess you shouldn't listen to me, you dope. Well, if you do listen to Donald Trump, you kind of are a dope. But the overall issue here is that this pattern has cost tens of thousands of additional human lives. Florida, Texas, Arizona, and other states, they've seen huge cases and spikes in cases and in deaths. And look, let me bet that I'm going to bet that this is a way to not only deflect blame, right, but to go after New York and California as well. California has seen a huge increase in cases, right? Now, California tried to reopen slowly, but they got swamped. There's a lot of people who are still flouting social distancing and of course, not wearing masks. And a lot of those people happen to be Trump supporters. And so that's a result of Republicans turning this into the culture wars, right? But here we are. As a result, you've got people that are dying and Kellyanne Conway still lying. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.